Mustangs, everything's working for him. Wyatt Cooley comes up, makes the stop, which should have been a non-catchable ball.
David Serrano wide to the right. Vega throwing across the middle this time, and a couple of players there, a chance to pick that off for the Yellow Jackets. Cody McBride was in the mix that time, along with Wyatt Cooley.
Cody, again, picking on this left side. Cody McBride, Wyatt Cooley had a shot at it. Thrown behind the receiver. McBride kind of screened by the receiver. But, again, the Yellow Jackets really being tested, a 3rd and 5, but this Mustang offense kind of opening it up a little bit here early in the second half.
Penalty there for the Mustangs. An ineligible receiver downfield, and they have been plagued by penalties in this contest. That's certainly something that they'll work on as they go back to their camp next week.
Well, again, a lot of inexperience. We talked about it early on. You know, both teams losing a lot of players off of last year's teams. And again, we've got quite a ball game. 7-0, Yellow Jackets up. But this second half, this drive right now, it'll be key. This is going to be one of those key plays where the Yellow Jackets got to make a stop. Almost in 4-down territory are the Mustangs.
3rd down and 11. Vega looking for the signal here. After they mark off the penalty, the officials having a conference over the ball. Let's check in with Mike Reneel. Mike?
Yeah, Camden, it looks like the officials having to go to the rule book to make sure they get this one correctly as far as the yardage and if it changes anything on the down marker. So it looks like they've all consulted the book and are ready to go.
No instant replay in high school football, so they have to take the time to make sure they get it right on the book.
I'm not sure it wasn't a menu they were marking off for a to-go thing on the way out of here.
Yeah, I think the Lotus Garden restaurant closes here in the next half hour. They're trying to get their order in.
Trying to get their sushi in.
3rd down and 11. Vega to throw, has his man caught at the 42, spins out of a tackle at the 40, out across the 35-yard line. A big play here for the Mustangs on 3rd down to pick up a Lacey Weeks at Wallach & Volk Mortgage 1st down. Milo Fergoso on the reception, Ryan Eccles on the tackle.
And deep in your secondary, Ryan Eccles is not the guy. He's a front line guy that you don't want to make the tackles. Poor tackling by the Yellow Jackets. 3 Yellow Jackets miss on that tackle. Great job by Sahuarita keeping this drive alive.
Wide receiver to the far side of the set for the Mustangs is David Serrano. 2 receivers near side, set a man in motion. That's Bedoya across the formation. Counter to the near side. Room to run at the 30, out to the 25. Ball loose at the 21. Yellow Jackets say they have it, and they do. What a play by the Yellow Jackets defensively to stop this drive. The ball carrier, Giovanna Newser,
Matt
loses
Armillo
the
comes
football.
up with the ball. Matt Armillo, middle linebacker for the Yellow Jackets. But Yellow Jackets going to have to defensively make some adjustments. We're seeing Sahuarita having a lot of success. Again, that play successful, just lose the ball at the end, but attacking that left side, Yellow Jackets going to have to come back and do something about it. 6:44 left to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Yellow Jackets lead by 7 and now have the football for the first time in the second half. They'll bang their way across, or rather this is the second possession for them this half. They hand to Cook, and Cook with some good yardage after he gets some yards after contact out to the 28, call it the 29-yard line. Picks up 6 on 1st down, 2nd and 4. Best run of the game for Nolan Cook. Gets 6 or 7 yards on that. But a big hit at the end. You could hear it from up here. Big collision. Giovanni Newser does an outstanding job. Very physical play by the Mustangs. Clock rolling with just over 6 to play in the 3rd. And Cook carries off tackle right side this time across the 32. Got time to stop by Joseph Jenkins. Exact same play this time running off the right side. And Joseph Jenkins comes up, makes the stop. 6 foot, 220-pounder. Big guy. Mike was talking about how small this Sahuarita team was. Well, Mike's a big guy, and I think relative to him, everybody looks small. Tight end to the right side.
And a trips in a bunch set on the left side, and they hand it off straight ahead, and there is nothing there as Sahuarita almost looks like they are in the huddle with the Yellow Jackets. And Cook is going to be stopped short of a first down.
That whole front does a great job. Vincent Palma again on the stop, as well as Elijah Hartley-Johnson. But the front for the Yellow Jackets, and historically, these guys are good at creating seams, but they are not going to drive a big guy off the line right now, and that's something they're going to have to work on.
Double tights. We go to punt formation here on 4th down and 2 from the 18-yard line. A decent punt here at the 31. Returned out to the 40, call it the 42-yard line. Caden Bedoya on the return for Sahuarita. Let's check in with Mike Granillo. Mike.
Thanks, Camden. You've talked about the defense for the Sahuarita Mustangs. They don't even call any plays from the sideline. These guys are just playing a base defense and making reads off of certain conditions that Blue Ridge sets up in. But this is not coming from the coaching staff necessarily, except for what they've worked on this week in practice. This is just a base defense and read, and they're doing a great job.
Little change that time in the secondary. Wyatt Cooley on that punt got injured, limps off the field. The quarterback, Spencer Hall, now goes in at corner.
Vega sets a man in motion across the formation. Jackets right there with the play as it goes straight ahead, and the Jackets hit him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's going to be Duke Tussing in on the stop. Does a nice job. Comes up, meets him in the hole, and stops him after about a half a yard. And really, that was just that running downhill by the fullback. Gets that extra, that little yard.
2nd and 9 with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the third quarter. The Jackets hanging on to a 7-point lead here in this contest. They were able to punch a 14-yard carry in for a touchdown in the second quarter. Neither team able to score in the last 14 minutes of this contest. And an incomplete pass across the middle. Schimmel had a chance at it.
Actually, I think it was Cody McBride.
Cody McBride, rather, yep.
I'm sorry, but again, just a little seam route that time by number 22. Or number 2, I'm sorry, Caden Bedoya. He just goes right down the inside seam. Could have hit him. I don't think it was a good pass selection. He kind of floated it, did Vega, and, the Yellow Jackets come up. Luckily for him, Cody McBride was there, and Mustangs kind of got away with it.
Certainly a tough one to catch. 4:06 left to play here in the third. 3rd down and 8. Call it 3rd and 9. Bobbled snap. Long throw down the far sideline as they were running a toss and a halfback pass that time. Vega goes down on the play. Miles on the coverage was the only one close to catching that one.
And nobody really fooled that time. Good pressure on the backside. The quarterback gets the big pitch. It's a pitch and run, or pitch and throw that time. And the Yellow Jackets defended, stayed deep. Nate Miles does an outstanding job. Good pressure by the front as well.
Giovanna Newser back to punt for the Mustangs, stands at his 28-yard line.
Nate Miles back to return.
End over ender caught by Miles at the 28. And he slips a tackle at the 30, up to the 35. Somehow he gets loose up to the 38-yard line. 2 guys had a chance at him, and he gets away from both.
David Serrano comes up with the stop for the Mustangs, the junior, 6'2", 175-pounder, but the wall was waiting for Nate Miles. Nate Miles fighting to get over there, managed to get a block, sheds a block, gets to the outside, gets those extra yards, but you know what, the Mustangs kind of got lucky on that one. Good play by Serrano because the wall was there. You can see it coming back.
It was a shallow punt. The cover team was there quickly. They had a really good opportunity. In fact, one of those plays where you almost thought he should have fair caught it, but he's able to slip a couple of tackles and make some good yardage out of it. As Nolan Cook carries some tacklers with him out across the 45 to the 47. And Nolan Cook says, hey, if I don't have holes, I'm going to make my play. I'm going to make things happen out there.
I tell you what, I can't help but think that's what he likes to see. He gets around the edge, gets around the corner, and now he's faced up against these guys, the corners, safeties outside. And again, he's not going to go down easy. one other point, Brennan Schimmel down on the sideline on his back. He looks like he's got some cramps.
We'll check in with Brandon Todd in a moment to find out his condition as the Yellow Jackets are going to sweep to the left side. Johnson on the carry, able to get out around and pick up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down. Injury report, let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Camden. You're absolutely right. It's just cramping. His right calf is cramping, so we got the trainer down there rubbing it out, pushing his calf back. Doesn't look to be anything serious. He's going to rub it out, drink some water, and look for him to be back in soon.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
Nice little 11-yard gain by Chris Johnson around the left side. Again, two different types of running backs. A physical runner is Cook. Johnson, more of a speed guy around the outside, does a great job.
Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling, first down for the Yellow Jackets. Hand to Cook, and Cook has a first down. Out to a Lacey Weeks at Wallach and Volk Mortgage, first down, and it almost sense that the Sahuarita defense is starting to wear down.
Well, hopefully you get some runs like that. It does. They're maybe getting a little bit tired, as you mentioned. Eliza Hartley Johnson that time in on the stop, but they call him Roland Nolan for a reason, and that's the way we're used to seeing Nolan Cook run. Just a downhill runner, does a great job.
Nolan Cook was held to 10 carries for 10 yards early in that second quarter, and here he is in the last 2 carries. He's clicked off 20 yards back to his, and those 2 carries he's back to his almost 10 yards per carry average.
Hey, he's a money guy. You're going to go to him. Again, you got to give credit to the Mustangs doing an outstanding job stopping him early, but right now the Yellow Jackets with a nice drive of their own.
Looks like Nolan Cook getting some water here, and timeout on the field as the Yellow Jackets are talking things over. Let's check in with Mike Granillo. Mike?
Well, Camden, we go back to that fumble over on the line as Sahuarita was getting ready to perhaps put points on the board. Really morally defeated them a little bit on the sideline there. Coaching staff's trying to keep them up, trying to be positive, but then they get a penalty, and they were looking for a pass interference on that handoff pass, and things just haven't gone their way, and just morally kind of getting down a little bit. We'll see if they can withstand this Jacket drive right here in the third quarter.
Thanks, Mike. 2 minutes and 36 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Jackets after the timeout, fresh set of downs. Hand to Cook, bounces to the outside, turns it up at the 28. He'll be knocked down at the 25, rolls forward to the 20, at the 23. Penalty marker in the backfield, though, of the Jackets. This one may be coming back.
Yeah, not a good sign, but I tell you, Nolan Cook, what I like, and you see good backs do it, even before or while they're getting the ball, adjusting that time. Good pressure by Sahuarita. Nolan Cook with the stiff arm manages to immediately, as soon as he gets the ball, stiff arms, hops outside, bounces outside, gets those yards, and then with a hurdle at the end, gets those extra yards and a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
2.5 minutes here before the end of the third quarter. 7-0 Jackets lead and knocking on the door here in the third quarter. Eight penalties, 70 yards against the Sahuarita Mustangs here tonight. A huge factor in the outcome of this ball game, at least to this stage of the game. McBride sets up as a slot on the left side. Hall going to hand off to Cook, sweeping around the left end, and he's able to find the edge this time as he knocks his way down to the 6-yard line, and the Jackets just keep coming, same plays, nothing different. They just keep running the same thing over and over again, and Sahuarita finally starting to wear down.
Well, no surprise here, Yellow Jackets, a lot of different looks, but as you mentioned, running the same stuff. Not having success inside the tackles, really trying to get their backs outside the tackles. That time, Nolan Cook takes it around the left side, just gets off tackle, gets those extra yards.
Under 2 to play in the third. On 2nd and 4, there's a loose ball, and the Jackets fortunately able to fall on it as a blitzing linebacker got into the lap of Spencer Hall that time, and he lost the handle on the football.
That time, Salvador Rodriguez, 55, the sophomore, we talked about him earlier. He comes in, times it just right, flies up, makes a play on Spencer, loses the ball. Great awareness by Chris Johnson, comes back and covers for the Yellow Jackets to keep this drive going.
Minute 17 left to play here. Clock rolling, approaching the 1 minute mark of the third quarter. Yellow Jackets with a third down and 15 now after that loss on that play. Hall looking to throw. Pump fakes, now moves to his left. In trouble. Going to be hit in the backfield. Gets back to the 15-yard line. But the Yellow Jackets going to be forced to go for a field goal here, as they will have a fourth down and 15 from their own 15, or rather from the Sahuarita 15-yard line.
Good job by Spencer Hall that time, getting the ball back and getting those yards back. Great penetration by the Mustangs. Looks like Cody McBride setting up for the extra point.
Is this a chip shot for him? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it's a chip shot for anybody. We're looking at about a 33-yard field goal.
And it's set on the far hash, or near the far hash. He gets off an awkward kick. Looked like the snap may have been bobbled a little bit.
Looked like it was blocked. I think it's Garrett or Garrett Doogie, the senior, 5'11", 195-pounder. Defensive lineman.
I don't know if Schimmel ever got it down. Let's check in with Mike Granillo. Mike?
Yeah, Cam did this. The snap was low. It barely got off the ground the whole way. I think Schimmel did a pretty good job of just getting that ball to almost get on the tee. But as you said, it never really got up there. And McBride really didn't have a shot at that one.
That was a big miss for the Yellow Jackets. Instead of making it a two-possession game with 9 seconds left here in the third, Sahuarita takes over on downs at the 20-yard line.
Well, absolutely. Again, Wyatt Cooley looks like back out on the field for playing the right corner position.
4 receivers, 2 left and 2 right. Vega in the gun. Single back in the backfield with him. He's going to throw on first down, and it is a pass that was intended at the 30-yard line for Ryan Bell. It was thrown just a little bit underneath him. Brennan Schimmel in on the there to break that one up, but I think the pass, I'm not sure if he could have thrown it anyplace else, but it certainly was not a pass that was an easy one to catch for Bell.
I tell you, it looked like Nolan Cook as well, right on the inside. Good coverage, 3 Yellow Jacket defenders right there, trying to put it in a spot that it would have been hard for anybody to catch.
Clock stopped at 4 seconds left to play in the third here with the incomplete pass. There's a loose ball. Jackets look like they fell on it. Back at the 14-yard line, Jeff Antoni comes up with it for the Yellow Jackets. And that will end the third quarter. The Yellow Jackets lead it here tonight, 7-0, and they've got the football back on the Sahuarita 15-yard line when we return for the fourth and final quarter of this game. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. Yeah. What did he say?
You've got to be kidding me. He's defining our community by that call. And all, but
say it again, Royce.
I will tell you what, you got to give him credit though.
Wait, hold on. What, Royce? Okay.
If he's only 20 years old though, he's doing an outstanding job.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Welcome back to Blue Ridge High School. Yellow Jackets with a 7-0 lead. Hand to Cook here to start the fourth quarter. He turns the corner and has the ball down inside the 10, close to the 7-yard line. Nolan Cook coming alive in this second half.
And you know what you like to see, or I think this defines him as a runner, getting around the right side. You could have bounced to the outside, see if he could get around the corner. He turns it back inside, takes on the defender, does a nice job getting those gains. Finally stopped by Ryan Bell, but that's a guy in the secondary. You don't want your safeties making tackles.
Cook picks up 8 yards on the carry, has 66 yards on 19 carries for the night. A 3.5 per carry average after the first half. He only had just over 1 yards per carry. The Yellow Jackets going to be forced to burn a timeout here as they had some personnel issues. Let's check in with Mike Reniel. Mike.
Thanks, Camden. Just a little note, after the 15-yard face mask penalty called in favor of Nolan Cook that kept the Blue Ridge drive going on their last possession, Coach Rodriguez very upset. Feels like this officiating crew is taking part in a bit of homering. Talked about if this represented our community, that it was shameful. Felt like things have definitely not gone Sahuarita's way tonight.
Well, Coach Rodriguez with his prerogative to say what he wants on his sideline, right, Bill?
Well, I hope so, and I hope he doesn't judge us by their stripes as well. You know, I got an issue with that. I'll tell you what, judge a community by the community. That's a bad call. Maybe, you know what, they make the call. He knows that as a coach. It's time to be a big boy now and just deal with it. Don't make those judgments about our little town.
11-17 left to play in the contest. A 7-0 lead for the Jackets. After the timeout, they face a 2nd down and 1. 2nd and 2, call it. Spencer Hall under center, eye tandem in the backfield. Actually, an offset eye power formation behind him. And handed off to Cook. Cook across the 5. He loses the football at the goal line. Here comes Sahuarita up the far sideline. To the 30, out to the 35, knocked down just shy of the 40-yard line. Nicer Blake picks up the fumble and races it out to the 40-yard line.
Well, you mentioned it. Nolan Cook, that jive up the power play that time, takes it up the right side. Looked like he was right near the end zone, maybe reaching. We're not used to seeing him give up the ball. Again, great play by Nicer Blake. Gets the ball, takes it around the left side all the way down the sidelines. You know, there's a flag on the penalty. We'll see what happens with that. Coach is a little upset over there. But a great stop by Spencer Hall. Quarterback comes back and breaks it up, slows them down enough to allow this Yellow Jacket offense make the stop before they got into the end zone.
Nolan Cook in his junior year, last year, only fumbled the ball 3 times all year, gave up only 2 fumbles that were lost due to his fumbles. This is an unprecedented moment for him as he had a real shot at going for the goal line there. Unfortunately, he's stripped of the football.
But you know what, and a great play by Blake, good play, solid play by Spencer Hall to make the stop. Looks like they're going back to Calvin Jenkins, quarterback change for the Mustangs. We saw him earlier in the first half when he spotted Vega back out there as the quarterback.
Jenkins from the gun. 4 receivers, 2 left, 2 right. Jenkins gonna run to his right, fakes, and then steps up and tries to get out of a tackle at the 30. He does. It's about 4 yards to the 34-yard line with 10:50 remaining in the contest. Jenkins picks up about 4 yards on first down.
Matt Armillo in on the stop that time. It almost looked like Cook as well, trying to get the call. No call on it, trying to get the hold as he sealed the corner. They bounced outside. The official right there, but doesn't make the call. Nice little job by Armillo to come up and make the stop.
Trips formation to the left. Jackets showing blitz. Jenkins trying to get around the corner. Has the edge, but he's hit at the edge rather, and he tries to get some extra yards. Does a good job of carrying some tacklers with him out across the 35 down at the 38-yard line for the Jackets that time. Tristan Penrod along with Wyatt Cooley on the stop.
Wyatt Cooley, nice little stop, but Jeff Antonio coming in hard on that side, runs right by the quarterback. Antonio that time full, didn't stop to smell the coffee.
3rd down and a long 2 here. Jenkins does not get the play off as a false start is called against the Mustangs. Again, penalties killing them tonight. So Jackets hang on to this 7-0 lead.
Again, 3rd and short, now backed up another 5 yards. Still 3rd and 8, very manageable. But a great drive so far here and recovery by the Mustangs. Saw the Yellow Jackets down there knocking on the goal line. Here we have the Mustangs coming back, only down by 7 with 9:38 here in the 4th quarter.
Mustangs are going to send a trips. No, they go with four receivers, 2 left, 2 right. Jenkins to pass. In trouble, going to be flushed, going to be hit from behind. And a great play defensively that time for the Yellow Jackets. A couple of players in on the play that time. Duke Tussing, along with Nolan Cook, to force him to throw that one short.
Yeah, that pressure and those bodies on him, Jenkins, makes a bad pass, but luckily gets it off. His speed, you can see why he's in there. He allows the Mustangs receivers more time as he gets speed and tries to get around the quarter. Giovanni
Newser, rather, to punt, stands at the Mustang 20, an end-over-ender. Miles back to return at the 35. Tries to make it to the outside and gets hit on a nice play by Bedoya, showing some speed to match Nathan Miles, and knocks him down at the 30-yard line.
Well, we talked about it earlier, the speed of Sahuarita, and you can definitely see it, especially on that. No wall really for Miles that time. He's good return guys will lose yards just to try to get behind the wall. That time, the Sahuarita Mustangs come up, make a nice stop, and the Yellow Jackets back to their 30-yard line.
9 minutes, 13 seconds left to play in the contest. Jackets with a 7-0 lead. Schimmel comes wide to the near side of the formation. Ball at the Yellow Jacket 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Here's the snap. They go off tackle left side. Hand to Johnson to the 35-40. Nobody in front of him with the 50. To the 40, to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Johnson will score for the Yellow Jackets. And the Yellow Jackets will go up by 13.
An outstanding play by Chris Johnson. Going off that left side, a power play, as you mentioned it. Some good lead blocks with that burst of speed. Johnson, one of those scat guys that can cover ground, one of the faster guys on the team, covers that and gets into the end zone, outruns everybody. Smart play by the rest of the Yellow Jackets. No stupid blocks, they just let him do his thing.
Chris Johnson, 70 yards. And you saw this bit of almost a mental breakdown defensively for the Mustangs in that 3rd quarter as the Jackets continue to wear on them. We talked about, Punt Cooley talked about in the halftime, the time of possession game was well in a favor of the Yellow Jackets as McBride comes on to punch the extra point through, and the Jackets lead it here 14-0. We'll step away, 9:05 remaining in the 4th. The Yellow Jackets up by 2 touchdowns. This is Showa Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. Thank you. Yeah.
Getting eaten alive down here on the field, guys.
It's not good.
It's because you're so sweet.
Remove the overtones and I'll say thank you.
You're so sweet compared to those nasty smelling football players.
Oh yeah. Hold my breath every time I walk by him. It's not good.
Okay.
Royce, they call him Tunnel Royce.
Because he's off mic, because the main mic doesn't work in the studio, so he's got a mic that's across the room from him. 14-0, Yellow Jackets lead. The ensuing kickoff returnable at the 16 to the 20, 25, 30 up the far side, as the Sahuarita Mustangs will have a decent return here and give themselves decent field possession.
I think Olin Brown in on the return does a nice job returning it back to his own sideline, and decent field position. You're absolutely right about the 33-yard line for the Mustangs.
8 minutes, 54 seconds left to play in the game, and the Jackets enjoying now a 2-possession game, up 14-0.
We'll see what they do. Again, opening it up, challenging the secondary, or are they going to attack the outside edge?
2 receivers come here to the near side. Vega back in it. Quarterback sets a man in motion towards the formation. Fake to him. Mix up in the backfield. They try to hand to the second man through on a counter. He's hit at the 30-yard line and knocked down. Nolan Cook comes in to clean him up after Miles helped out on the play, and it looks like he's injured.
It does. It looks like it's the Newser that's a little bit shaken up. But I'll tell you what, Chris Johnson ends up making that tackle, but early on we saw him come in a little bit hard. Newser bounces to the outside, but the quickness of Chris Johnson to recover, tracks him down, and still manages to get him behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a big hit that time. Nolan Cook, not a small guy to land on you when you get tackled like that. A loss of 3 on the play, second down and 13. Mustangs waiting for the play from the sideline. They finally get it. Vega calling it from the shotgun formation. He stands at his 25. And a quick pass to the near side is caught. A gain of 4. Verdoga on the reception at the 35.
Nice little tackle by Nate Miles that time out on the wide side. And again, just that spread, just tries to get it to the receiver. Really designed to get yards after the catch. Nate Miles closes quick, brings him down.
3rd down and 9. Vega in the gun. Single back in the backfield and 4 receivers. Quick throw here to the near side, caught by number 85 for the Mustangs, David Serrano. Serrano, a 6'2", 175-pound wide receiver, looks more like a tight end that time as Nolan Cook hits him square in the chest to knock him down.
Chris Johnson also in on the stop, but really testing that time, same play almost, that time just a quick slant in, goes up big and makes a nice catch.
Good for a Mountain Comfort heating and cooling first down for the Mustangs. And a quick throw again as the Mustangs really starting to operate their 2-minute offense here, doing a good job of moving the football as they have it now at the midfield mark. A gain of 5 on first down, 2nd and 5.
Quick little in by Olin Brown that time, immediately hit after contact, but does a nice job. Not a lot of guys can catch on the inside knowing they're going to get hit. Olin Brown does a great job.
Vega with that 4-receiver set again. This time he overthrows his intended receiver that time. Intended on the far side for Milo Fargoso. The 6'1", 170-pound senior can't come up with it.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown that time. Fargoso tries to come up with it, but it's just a little bit too high for him. Yellow Jacket defense right there. But you can see them giving a little bit of yards away right now. Cushion on defensively. Just wanted to make sure nobody gets behind for a quick score.
3rd down and 7. Vega to throw far side, and he has his man caught at the sticks. Comes up with a reception at the 45-yard line in Jacket territory now. Close to a Lacey Weeks at Wallach and Bulk Mortgage first down.
Milo Fargoso in on the catch, does an outstanding job. The 6'1", 170-pound receiver managed to get just shy of the defensively tackled immediately by Chris Johnson, just shy of the first down, but an outstanding catch as he goes up high to get it.
They're going to come in with the chains this time as that one was a little too close to call, apparently. The chains the chains aren't that far. That's got to be very close.
It is very close, but this is probably, it's right on the Sahuarita bench. You can bet the coach is calling for a measurement, gives their players maybe a little chance to breathe a little bit, recover. Again, this altitude, Sahuarita coming from the valley, just south of Tucson, coming all the way up here to the mountains, maybe feeling that a little bit.
The spot was shy of the 45-yard line. And it's 4th and about 6 inches. As the Mustangs are going to go for it here, trailing by 2 touchdowns and 6.5 left on the game clock. And it's a quarterback sneak. The Jackets are in the backfield and they may have stopped him. Yard to gain was the 45, and Vega hit immediately as he took the snap on the play. Duke
Tussing. You say Tussing, I say Tussing. Duke Tussing slices through, grabs Vega, brings him down, but just getting the first down by about 6 inches gets that first down. But kind of a generous placement. Maybe that's a reflection of our community.
You know what really matters is what his mom says his name is.
I'm pretty confident knowing his dad.
It's Tussing. Handoff tackle off the left side after they pick up the Lacey Weeks and Mullican Volk Mortgage first down. The Mustangs on a run here as they get a decent drive put together with under 6 now to play in the contest. 5:50 remaining. They get 9 on first down. It's going to be 2nd down and inches. Vega from the gun. Hand it off straight ahead. Jackets are there, and the Jackets right between the tackles have been pretty tough here tonight.
Elijah Johnson that time, Elijah Hartley Johnson, the 200-pound running back, immediately met and stopped. Going back to Duke Tussing, his mom calls him son, maybe baby, sweetheart. I don't think she calls him Tussing.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
I'm pretty safe on that one.
Are you? 3rd down and inches. Throw to the near side, incomplete. The Jackets are going to force another 4th down conversion here. The intended pass that time was to Olin Brown, but it's incomplete. Throws it a little too far wide. A reminder, you can watch tonight's contest on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/italk1067. and become a fan of Facebook or fan of iTalk 1067 and watch the game by clicking on the Ustream link. Going forward on 4th down and inches. They set a man in motion. Vega hands it off on the counter on the left side, and they have the first down across the 35 to the 34.
And again, just mixing up that Yellow Jacket off defense. A little bit of it looked like a speed sweep, going to come around the right side, the near side, a handoff back to the backside, and the running back does a nice job getting the yards.
Under 5 to play now in the contest, 14-0. Vega from the gun with a fresh set of downs. A Mountain Comfort heating and cooling first down. They go to the air down the far sideline. A lot of contact, and the Sahuarita sideline is upset as it looked like the Yellow Jacket defender was in his hip pocket, and certainly some contact. Let's check in with Mike Reneo. Mike.
Thanks, Camden. A couple things. One, the Mustangs know they can go to that fly sweep off of the motion counter all the time if they need to pick up yards, and I got to say that was probably pass interference there. Sorry, punt, but didn't look back for the ball in time and a lot of contact.
Wyatt Cooley in on the stop, but it goes down, it wins a win, right? So
a no call is a no call.
An interception across the middle. Armillo going to take it the other way. And the Yellow Jackets have staged another stop here against the Mustangs, who have struggled to get things going all night long. Looked like they had put together a long drive where they converted on 2 or 3 4th down conversions, and a big play by Armillo there to get the interception.
Especially coming back after that no call for pass interference. Again, Matt Armillo, though, turned around. The ball was there right as he turns around. Does an outstanding job catching it. Turns upfield and wisely goes out of bounds.
4:40 left to play here in the 4th. Jackets will try to burn some clock as Hall hands it off straight ahead. Big hole opens up, and it is Nolan Cook. He could go. Bengals to the near sideline to the 10-5. Touchdown, 51 yards on the carry. Nolan Cook scores for the 3rd touchdown touchdown tonight for the Yellow Jackets.
And glad to see that for Nolan Cook. Again, Matt, you could hear the shot, manages to keep his feet, just bounces off it. A big, solid running back that time, and then finishes with that speed. We saw him matched up, outruns the defender all the way into the near end zone, near side of the end zone. Outstanding run by Nolan Cook. Yellow Jackets, again, breathing a little bit easier now, up by 20.
You know, Bill, you see it year in and year out, but the Yellow Jackets are a team that just has no quit in them. It looked like early on in this contest they were in for a big fight, which by all accounts they've been in for a big fight. The scoreboard's not going to tell the whole story here tonight, but the reality is that Blue Ridge just kept knocking, kept coming, and they are now up by 3 touchdowns.
Absolutely. I think you got to give them credit. They don't get rattled. They just keep staying with what has been successful over the years. But I definitely agree with you. Right now the score 21-0, not reflective or not really representative of how great a game this has been, especially to start off the season.
4:30 left to play here in the contest. The Yellow Jackets up 21-0. We'll step away. This is Shiloh Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Hey guys, I got to tell you, on that last pass interference no call, on the opposite side.
On the sidelines, Graham.
The water boy.
Out to the 31.
Welcome back. Yellow Jackets with a 21-0 lead. 4:20 remaining in this contest. Looks like Miles comes up dinged up that time. Newser on the return pulls over Miles. And he takes a shot. Looks like he's holding his shoulder. We'll try to get an update from Brandon Todd in a moment as the Mustangs will start with the football at the 31-yard line. And the Yellow Jackets look like they're down a player after Miles had to come off with the injury. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, hey, I don't have an update on the injury just yet. I'll go down there and see if I can hear something. But I want to go back to that last drive by the Mustangs when they were knocking on the door of Blue Ridge. I was watching on that last pass what we'll call the no call, the pass interference. I was watching the line judge run up to the plate, and he was fumbling for his flag like he was wanting to throw it. It looked like he just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So tough break for the Mustangs. But, you know, tough fight, good game, and I'll try to get a report on that injury as soon as I get back.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And a couple players on the near sideline. Looks like Tussing is down along with Cooley here on the near sideline. I thought I saw Miles go down, but I may have been mistaken.
Looks like it might have been Cooley. 25, it's 35. Wyatt Cooley now playing corner for the Yellow Jackets. We saw him earlier come out limping. Looks like they're working his left leg, lower leg. We'll see what that is. Duke Tussing as well. Cramping a little bit more on the calves, but you know, that no call obviously really a factor emotionally for the Mustangs. We'll see how they recover after that no call on pass interference by Wyatt Cooley.
I'm going to stay out of this one. 4:20 left to play in the contest. The Mustangs, after the timeout, will have the football. And penalty markers thrown and a procedure call. That's the... Check it for you here in just a second. The 10th penalty for 80 yards tonight against the Mustangs.
Looked like Salvador Rodriguez, big guy on the front, jumped off sides.
There's a snap. Rolling to his left is the Quarterback for the Mustangs, Calvin Jenkins. Jenkins tried to turn it up inside and gets tackled by the Yellow Jackets.
Really turned inside that time by number 21, Elijah Aller that time. Turns him inside. Jenkins, though, manages to get a couple yards on that.
Under 4 minutes to play in the contest. The Mustangs really need to hurry here if they're going to stay in this contest. A couple quick scores could get them back in it, though. And they try for one here down the far sideline, but overthrown. Jenkins unable to hit his intended receiver. Streaking down the far sideline.
Looks like Fregoso that time, 6'1", and matched up against him is the Nate Miles, 5'6". So you got 5'6" Miles. Speed-wise, stride for stride, does a great job. Height-wise, at a disadvantage. Defensively, Nate Miles only 5'6", but you can bet, especially as time's running out, these guys are going to be going vertical, really challenging the secondary.
And that'll stop the clock with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left. And I agree, Bill. There's no question about it. Trip set to the right side, and they will pitch it right side. Looking to get around the corner, and a good tackle in the open field that time by Schimmel, taking down the
Elijah Hartley Johnson. Going around the right side. But it almost
doesn't quite get to the first down marker.
But he ends up, Elijah Hartley Johnson almost looked like he fell. He wasn't trying to get out of bounds. Looked like he almost slid trying to stop before the sideline.
He was trying to turn it up, but Schimmel took his legs out from underneath him. 21-0, Jackets lead. Clock approaching the 3-minute mark, and the Mustangs forced to punt here. Nobody back for the Jackets. It'll bounce at the 37 and take a Mustang roll to the 33 where they'll field it there, and the Jackets will have what should be the final possession of the game.
You know, maybe not such a good play that time. You know, historically, Yellow Jackets, not a team that's going to try to score with the remaining few minutes of a game. Maybe the Mustangs should have gone on that. Even though it's 4th and long, what's the probability of the Yellow Jackets trying to score?
The probability?
Very low.
Very low.
What do you think?
In this situation, I think very, very low. Let's put money on it.
Well, let's just see here. But I think they're going to try to burn up time. I don't know that they're going to try to score, although it's only 21. They're only up by 21.
Well, 3 minutes, 3 seconds. I think they just will continue to do what they've been doing. Right? Try to burn some clock.
Keep it inside the tackles. Keep that clock.
Really inside the tackles? I think they're going to go outside. I could be wrong. Carry made and a gain of 2 on first down.
Have you ever been wrong?
Occasionally.
I'm going to talk to your wife on that one.
It's very rare.
Talk to your kids.
You know, let's, as we bring Punt in on this conversation, Punt, the big play capability of the Yellow Jackets seems to have arrived in the second half.
Well, you know, you guys were talking earlier, Blue Ridge, and all these years we've been watching them, for some reason they're always able to make good adjustments at halftime, and they've done that again.
Here's Nolan Cook again, near sideline, 50. Down to the 30, he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 20. He was hit back here at midfield, and it was in a crowd of Mustangs, but he's able to bang his way out of it.
And that's where he does a great job, just keeps his legs moving, his upper body, great balance. Yes. And as we're hearing, outside the tackle, thank you for that little tidbit.
Let's check in with Mike Reniel. Mike?
Camden, I'm sure you're looking for me to tell you that you were so right, that the Jackets do go outside the tackle right there with Cook, and he makes you a profit. And not only that, he still didn't go down, was just knocked out of bounds.
Well, and again, right as Punt was talking about his big play capabilities, it certainly came to fruition there.
I've heard you called a lot of things. I have never heard you called a prophet, and I don't think he meant it the way he said it. Just a little correction there.
Yes, you always need to keep me in check. Nolan Cook has gone 22 carries tonight for 168 yards after being held to 10 carries, 10 yards on 10 carries in the first half.
Outstanding recovery here in the second half. And again, a tough guy to bring down. Maybe a little bit tired, this Mustang defense, but Nolan Cook, just an outstanding half.
Schimmel and Miles are wide to the far side of the formation. A penalty marker and a 5-yard penalty against the Jackets. has set them back 1st and 15. Another procedure call here. It'll be 1st and 20 from the 30. That's only their 3rd penalty. 3 penalties for 15 yards against the Yellow Jackets tonight. Is that even possible in the first game of the season?
Well, you know, historically, especially, it seems like of late, we've seen the Yellow Jackets with more and more penalties. You know, last year we saw them make a lot of mistakes, getting off to a good start tonight.
Hand off straight ahead, and spinning is Johnson down to the 20-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage, picks up 10 on 2nd down, and Yellow Jackets will continue to let that clock roll. A minute 54 left to play in the contest. Johnson, 12 carries and 135 yards tonight, averaging 11.3 yards per carry. Miles and McBride are wide right. Now McBride will set on the near side, left side of the formation. Hall from the gun, single back in the backfield, flanking him to his right. And a delay of game called against the Yellow Jackets. Johnson was the single back in the backfield. Yeah, Jackets tallying up some penalties here late in the contest so that they have something to talk about on Monday.
I think maybe just trying to keep that clock going down to a minute 22. We'll see, but didn't look like they were in a hurry, knowing they had time running out.
Miles wide right, McBride wide left, handed off straight ahead to Johnson, or actually Johnson tries to bounce it out to the outside, turns it up inside the defensive end there at the 25-yard line, and no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 15.
You know, that almost looked like that play earlier where Cook got all those yards. I think it was he bounced outside the tackle, trying to run inside maybe.
54 seconds left to play in the contest.
Just a thought, maybe a wish.
Do we need to check in with Mike Reneo again?
Well, you're the prophet. You could probably tell me on that.
McBride wide near side. They hand it off straight ahead. Spinning inside the tackles that time was Miles. Miles has a couple across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Sparsely populated crowd tonight. Not normal for a Yellow Jacket crowd, in my opinion.
Well, fighting to get out of the parking lot early. Under 20 seconds now, clock, and that's going to clear the field.
Yep, that'll be the final play of the ball game as the Yellow Jackets come away with the win tonight, 21-0 over the Mustangs of Sahuarita High School. Our Indian Pine Restaurant play of the game is coming up next as we conclude our contest with our post-game comments. This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. Back with the post-game right after this.
Your very own.
Blackhawks. Thank you.
So when they get tackled, is it Blackhawk down?
Look at that punt.
Get it? Blackhawk. That was some good stuff. Blackhawk down. Give me a little love here. Maybe not.
Come on. What was the final touchdown? Give me 3 minutes. Final touchdown. Touchdown. Yeah. When did it come? Oh, he did it. Nolan Cook, 51-yard run. Give me the place on that one. Time of possession. Show me that one. Well, one play.
Hey, Camden.
Okay.
You know, I talked to him yesterday. Yep. He said he would.
The camera lady.
He's only going to talk to one guy, so jump on it.
Camera lady over here is wondering if she can pack up or if you want to come down and do a little thing here.
Yeah, we need to do a thing there.
Hang on, we're going to do a thing here.
And I need, so if we can get Dane Thompson on, we'll try to hit him first. Where are you at, Mike? Are you close? Okay. Let me know if you get him. We got to get you on camera. Can you get the?
Appreciate it if you didn't cough into the microphone again.
Believe it or not, I moved the mic when I coughed. I just can't reach the cue.
How much time do you think? Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a recap. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and do these interviews, okay?
Sounds good.
Do we have a post-game sponsor? I can't remember.
Did you catch that?
Yellow Jackets win tonight, 21-0. Welcome back to our post-game comments. The Yellow Jackets get it done over Sahuarita. They put a win in the column, the win column, I should say. The Jackets got started in the second quarter. After failing on their first possession, they're able to cap off a 7-play, 40-yard drive with a 14-yard touchdown carry by Chris Johnson. It was a story of big plays in the second half for the Yellow Jackets as the Sahuarita defense started to fall apart, if you will, in the second half. In the third quarter, the Yellow Jackets unable to get anything on the board, but in the fourth, with 9 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the fourth, Chris Johnson gets a 70-yard run for a touchdown, making the score 14-0. Nolan Cook, late in the fourth quarter, 4.5 remaining, puts the nail in the coffin, as it were. One play, 51 yards. Nolan Cook on the carry to the house. The Yellow Jackets win it here tonight, 21-0. We'll be back with our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game, brought to you by the Indian Pine Restaurant. Also, we'll take a look at a interview coming up with Coach Dane Cook and our comments and final thoughts on this one when we return. Dane Thompson, I should say. Final score once again, 21-0. The Yellow Jackets over the Sahuarita Mustangs here tonight. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Yeah.
Let's stage you up on that.
Probably Chris Johnson. How long do you want?
Oh, sorry, Royce. Give me 2 minutes, 2.5. Seriously, that light is way too bright. I still can't see. Yeah.
It really makes your eyes pop.
Don't look at that light. Ask them if they can dim that light just a little bit. There we go.
It's mood
That's
lighting.
better.
He really needs mood lighting. And
Well,
is it possible to get him makeup? Could we get some
I
makeup?
did not get makeup tonight.
Something to really make his eyes pop?
Camera put on 50 pounds and I didn't get any makeup. I don't know what happened, but somebody didn't show up on time.
That's the talent.
How much time, Royce? Okay, punt, you're hot. We're looking in the numbers until we get Dane. You're going to tell us, Mike? Oh, you ready? Okay. 35 seconds.
Hey. What? Yeah.
We have a camera on you guys.
Yep.
Okay. Brandon, you ready to go after them?
Yep.
Got a camera on you, or is it the same one?
I'm over here on the right. I got one. Over here on the right.
I see. Okay.
Do that. Killing me.
Hey.
Yellow Jackets win it tonight, 21-0. Let's go down to the field and check in with Mike Granillo. Mike.
Well, thanks, Mike. I think probably the thing that impacts me the most is our second half energy. We're a thin team. We got a bunch of young guys. We got guys that ever played before, and so sometimes you're not sure how they're going to react when they're tired. But we grounded out pretty good there in the second half, and that was really impressive to me. Young linemen just getting after it, and running backs and receivers that are going both ways, and them not showing anything, being tired or anything like that. So I was impressed with the way they closed out the game.
I did get word from one of the Sahuarita coaches that they were looking a little tired out there in the second half. So definitely kudos to your guys. Coach, how about the Sahuarita Mustangs? I mean, that's a team that's in Division 4 now. Do you think you might hear some noise from them later on this season?
Oh, yeah. They had a great season last year. Coach Rodriguez does an awesome job. These kids know how to play football. He knows how to coach football, and they can get after it. They're definitely a playoff team. They had a big season last year, went like undefeated in the regular season, and then got snake bitten in their first round game, but they're legit. This is a legit football team. He does a great job. I think that this is going to be one of those teams that's not going to just be a one and done thing. This is if he stays around there, this is going to be a program like so many other programs that we have in our division. It's just going to be another one that's added to us.
Yeah, they look like they kind of have things rolling the right way. Coach, you guys pitched the shutout. You're in charge of the defense. Sahuarita was knocked on the door a few times, but what allowed you guys to keep that 0 up on the board?
Well, that kind of goes right in line with the second half effort. We talk all the time about backing up a big play with another big play. And so to us, it doesn't matter if we make the big play, we try to back it up, or if another team makes a big play, we try to back that big play up with another big play. And I think that, they had a couple big plays, and they have athletes all over the field. So there's a threat to crack something big at any moment. And we didn't put our heads down. It was all about the next play. And so I was really pleased with the way they kind of didn't get discouraged or anything like that. It was just business as usual, and they was like, okay, now we're at this field position, and they just kind of went after it from there.
All right, thanks, Coach. And who does this team look for leadership this year? You lost 21 seniors last year, a lot of guys that played on both sides of the ball. Who does the team turn to this year as you guys go forward in your season?
Well, when you're so young as we are, we're going to look at, Nolan and Walker Lee, who didn't even get to play tonight. But those are the guys because they led us last year, actually, as juniors. They were huge leaders for us. But we have no identity yet. And so I think this was a fun game to see guys step up in the huddle and make plays defensively and offensively and just watch how the kids turn to them. I thought, our young quarterback, Spencer, did a great job, organizing the offense and did a great job of generating the field play. And so I was real pleased with him. But really it was a group effort, and it was more the hard work, like the line just getting after it with sophomores starting and things like that and playing all the time. And it was just the work ethic, I thought, that was most outstanding.
All right, thanks so much. Coach Dane Thompson joining us here, defense coordinator of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, as they come away victorious 21-0. Thanks, Coach, and back to you, Camden.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Let's go down to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Camden. Coach Dane said it best right there about them wanting to come up with the big play after they already made the big play, and that's exactly what Blue Ridge did. Both of their long touchdown runs in that second half came off of a turnover by the Mustangs. I think one of them was interception, the other one was a fumble. So great job by the offense using that momentum given to them by the defense and going down and making a big play. My second thoughts are the running backs of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. thoroughly impressed me. Not allowing that first guy to take them down, making that second and third guy, sometimes 2 or 3 guys at once, take them down, being able to bounce off that first hit and go for extra yards. We saw Cook do that by the goal line, reaching for extra yards, and actually ended up fumbling. But even then, great job by him knowing where that goal line was, reaching for extra yards, and I'm excited to see what the Blue Ridge running backs are going to do for the rest of the year. Those are my thoughts on the game. Look forward to next week, and I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And, Punt, you mentioned the big plays of Johnson and Cook, and the reality is that they didn't have the first half that they wanted, but I'll tell you, they came out in the second half and really remedied that situation quickly.
Yeah, they sure did. And we talked earlier about how Blue Ridge is kind of famous, the coaching staff, for making adjustments. And as Mike pointed out in that second half, it appeared that they started to work off tackle a little bit more, kind of a more slanting outside run. And Cook was definitely finding space out there, as was Chris Johnson. They both passed the 100-yard mark. Johnson with 135 yards on 13 carries. And Cook coming up huge in that second half. He ends up with 168 yards on 22 carries after I think only having, I think 15 or 17 yards rushing in that first half, in the entire first half. So I think you have to credit certainly the line and their play in that second half. Coaches, though, obviously seeing something and making those minor adjustments. But kudos to the line. They were able to get those holes open and allow those big runs to break through. And Blue Ridge, I think Coach Thompson was right on. Because Sahuarita came out very strong in that second half. Their first couple of possessions, that first possession in particular, they were passing, and I mean marching right down the field. But give credit to Blue Ridge defensively for, like Coach Thompson says, they back it up with a good defensive effort, get the turnover, and really just stifled Sahuarita. And as Mike mentioned in that second half coverage, it just kind of took the energy out of the team a little bit too. So great defensive response by Blue Ridge in the face of a really strong start in that second half by Sahuarita.
As you take a look at the numbers, and there's some things that tend to stand out. One of those has to be penalties. Sahuarita flagged a lot tonight. That's something they're obviously going to work on. That caught them by surprise. I think they felt like there were some no calls, but the reality is that you got to win the game on the field, regardless with the cards that are dealt with you, and they just didn't get it done tonight. But what are some of the other things that stood out in your mind from the perspective of the numbers?
Well, Blue Ridge, we talked at halftime about really kind of a lack of offense. They did put 7 points up on the board by rushing, getting a good series going and rushing the ball in for a touchdown. But they had, I think, 48 total yards in the first half, and they end the game now with 364. That's a huge turnaround. We talked about it, how Cook and Johnson were able to find space and get that rushing total up. I think looking at the second half, offensive production and rushing was 316 yards compared to 44 in that first half. So that's a huge shift in offensive production. Sahuarita, also I think they had 35 yards total offense in that first half. I'm sorry, they had more than that because that big pass play, 69 yards I think was their total offense. And they finished the second half with 194. Again, because they came out strong with the passing game in that third quarter. So they made a run at it, and it looked for a while there. In a way, I think Blue Ridge maybe dodged a bullet or two in that third quarter. Because if Sahuarita would have not turned the ball over and scored some touchdowns, I think we would have really had a battle out here today. But again, going back to Coach Thompson's point, give Blue Ridge credit. They back up a huge play by the opponent by just punching back and, in their case, getting the turnover and really putting a halt to that Sahuarita offense. So I think that's huge defensive production for Blue Ridge in that second half.
That's well said, Punt. Bill, as we talk about what the Yellow Jackets have done year in and year out, how much of their history, how much of the things that they do here year in and year out help to pay dividends for this young, inexperienced team. I mean, obviously, they found themselves in an awkward position at times, but early on in the half, they found themselves with some great opposition, but they hung in there and they did what they do best.
Well, absolutely. I think when you look at the coaching, they've got good coaching. Obviously, some old coaches that have seen a lot of stuff. I say old, but a lot of experience, and that speaks volumes. But I think success breeds success. They've been in games, they've seen stuff, and it's maybe that tradition like we see in a lot of our schools up here on the mountain. They've been doing this game, playing really at a high level for a long time, and I thought that's what we saw tonight. They're going to keep battling. Again, the score maybe not as indicative as what a good game it was, and again, only two scores separating them. We saw on that fumble by Cook getting the ball back out. I thought it was a key play by Spencer Hall. Manages to make the tackle because they easily could have scored on that. They had a lot of blockers out front. Managed to stop them out at about, the 40-yard line. But nice job by the Yellow Jackets and a great performance, I thought, by Sahuarita. For us, all these new players not really knowing what to expect, both teams did an outstanding job.
Time now for our Indian Pine player, the Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game, brought to you by the Indian Pine Restaurant at Honda. And Bill, it's always a tough decision for us to make, but we always have to pick one.
Well, and unfortunately, we only get to pick one. I've got to mention some guys go. Rosario Munoz, again, we mentioned his name, the nose guard for the Yellow Jackets, makes some nice stops inside. Not a guy that you get to talk about. Duke Tussing, another one. I'm not sure about the name. Actually, we're sure about the name, but some people call him Sweetheart. Anyway, he had a nice performance, I thought. Came up with some key plays defensively. Spencer Hall, again, quarterback, first start for him at this level. And I thought he played well within himself. Didn't try to do too much. And again, a lot of pressure. You got to give kudos to that defense of the Mustangs.
He showed some real poise tonight.
I thought Brennan Schimmel, another guy, Matt Armillo, guys that are obviously very athletic, make a lot of plays, and they are tried and true. Came back again tonight. I think Punt mentioned it. Nolan Cook, a guy with all kinds of yards here in the second half. Just really getting stuffed in the first half, but just keeps battling, comes back, and really runs the way we're used to seeing Nolan Cook in the second half. Just a fun runner to watch. A big guy that doesn't go down easy, and yet we saw him with that burst outrun everybody into the end zone on what was, a 50-yard run, 60-yard run. Just an outstanding job. But in my book, I think we're going to give it to Chris Johnson, the other running back. And again, when you talk about a tandem backfield, two guys that different style of runs, but both doing an outstanding job. Speed guy, Chris Johnson, has a tendency to run more of a speed guy, that is kind of hard to catch, a little more cagey with a lot of energy and a lot of speed. Great balance for both of them, but Chris Johnson, I think a couple scores, got that first score, did an outstanding job, and kudos to the rest of the Yellow Jackets, outstanding play, and again, kudos to the Mustangs. I thought they did a great job.
Chris Johnson, our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game. We conclude our broadcast. We want to thank everyone from City 4 TV, along with our crew from Sholo, Blue Ridge, and Snowflake High School, the video crew for our live video here tonight. Our executive producer, Ron Everingham. On the field, it was Mike Granillo and Brandon Todd. Up here in the booth, Mike Caldwell, punt coolie. And for Bill London, I'm Camden Smith, inviting you back next week where we'll get a chance to watch the Sholo Cougars in action as they open up their season with Williamsfield, the Blackhawks.
Blackhawks, yeah, absolutely.
Blackhawks at Sholo High School.
Got to thank Royce Kincannon for that.
Our in-studio producer, Royce Kincannon, tonight. For Bill London, I'm Camden Smith. Once again, the final score from Blue Ridge High School. The Yellow Jackets win it here tonight over the Mustangs of Sahuarita High School, 21-0. So long, everybody.
Thanks,
Royce. Talk to you later. All right, thanks. Talk to you later, Royce. Okay, bye.